I can certainly say that while making such type of a statement, a Supreme Court judge, and not only Supreme Court judge, every judge should think 100 times before making such a statement, because the fundamental thing attached with a judge is that he should be impartial, and there must not be anything said, at least about priority, is about the commitment of a person, a citizen of India with his nation by a judge in this manner. I can't imagine that a judge can question about commitment and the patriotism of a person and a citizen of India in this manner. If he has asked these questions, he is well within his domain. It doesn't mean he is not a Indian. He is not a true Indian, or he is not a. You can't challenge his patriotism in this way while sitting in court. This is absolutely unwarranted statement.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Leaders of the India opposition bloc today flagged Supreme Court Judge Justice Dipankar Datta's remarks against Rahul Gandhi, describing them as extraordinary observation and unwarranted. The floor leaders of the parties in the opposition bloc met this morning and discussed Justice Dipankar Datta's remarks on Mr. Gandhi's statements on the India-China China border face-off. Now, this was a bench of Justice Datta and Justice Augustine George Massey, which was hearing a criminal defamation case against Congress leader for his remarks during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Now, what did Justice Dipankar Datta say, which has set the social media on fire? He's being criticized left, right, and center. But what did he say? Now, just hear this. I'm quoting what exactly he said to Rahul Gandhi's lawyer, Abhishek Manu Singhvi. And I'm going to quote now. The first line which he said, and the first question, in fact, he raised was, how do you get to know when 2,000 square kilometers was acquired by China? This is question number one. Question number two, what is the credible material? Which means that he's asking for evidence that how on earth Rahul Gandhi made this statement without an evidence. Third question, or the third statement rather, a true Indian will not say this. This has what got all the Congress leaders very, very irritated. They've given a lot of statements today, and I'm going to show you a few of them. So he says that a true Indian will not say this. And then he says, when there is a conflict across the border, can you say all this? And he also tells Abhishek Manu Singhvi that Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution does not permit anyone to say just anything. So what has happened after these statements? For a while, everyone was quiet. But by the time the import of these statements of Justice Dipankar Datta got sunk in, the social media was livid. And they made all sorts of statements that he looks like a judge who is bent. His proclivity is towards the BJP. He's trying to speak the BJP's language. He's a judge who has got who's prostrating before the powers that be. Many of them wrote that he's aspiring to become a Rajya Sabha MP or he wants a governorship. But let me inform you that Justice Dipankar Datta's retirement is 5 years away. 2030 is the year when he retires. So why is he making oral observations like these? Are these oral observations being used as a political weapon by a sitting judge like Justice Dipankar Datta? All these are questions which are being said, which are being discussed on the social media. Now, I want to show you the pictures of this India bloc meeting which happened in Parliament today. Now, these are some of the pictures I'm showing you on the screen, where Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, and lot many other India bloc leaders, they discussed this particular issue, that how can a sitting judge make remarks on the leader of the opposition. Then after this meeting, there was a proper press release, and I'm going to put out that press release what it says. So this press release very clearly says that today, during the morning meeting of the India floor leaders, the remarks of a sitting judge of the Supreme Court on the leader of the opposition, Sri Rahul Gandhi, was discussed. All the leaders of the India parties agreed that the sitting judge has made an extraordinary observation which is unwarranted on the democratic rights of the political parties. It is the responsibility of political parties, especially the leader of the opposition, to comment on issues of national interest. When a government fails so spectacularly to defend our borders, it is every citizen's moral duty to hold it accountable. And of course, a lot of other leaders have commented, and I just want to show you what Priyanka Gandhi reacted to the reporters when she was speaking to the press outside the parliament. If you have that bite ready and if you can play that out, let's hear what Priyanka Gandhi said this morning.
नेता के लिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट इस तरीके की बात,
कौन सच्चा भारतीय है कौन सच्चा भारतीय नहीं है, ये तो मुझे लगता है कि मतलब न्यायपालिका के प्रति पूरे आदर के साथ कह रही हूँ कि ये तो उनके दायरे में नहीं होता डिसीजन, ये कोई जस्टिस तो नहीं तय करेंगे। दूसरा, राहुल जी ने हमेशा आर्मी का, सेना का आदर किया है। उनके दिल में उन सेना के प्रति, सैनिकों के प्रति, उनके अफसरों के प्रति पूरी तरह से आदर है। और हर भाषण में जब भी बोलते हैं, जब भी उनका हम कुछ भी भाषण या कोई भी टिप्पणी सुनते हैं, उसमें वो आदर बहुत स्पष्ट दिखता है। जो लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन होते हैं, नेता प्रतिपक्ष हैं, उनका जो कर्तव्य है वो ये है कि सरकार से सवाल पूछना, ठीक है, ये उनका कर्तव्य है। तो वो अपना कर्तव्य निभाते हैं। जब सरकार से सवाल पूछते हैं, उनको पसंद नहीं है, वो जवाब नहीं देना चाहते, इसलिए ये सब चीज़ें वो कराते हैं। सही, बहुत स्पष्ट बात। अभी सदन नहीं चल रहा है, कितने दिनों से नहीं चल रहा है। मैं सोच रही थी कि कितना मुश्किल है, सबसे बात करें, कह दें, चर्चा कर लेंगे। कितना मुश्किल है सदन को चलाना, क्या इतने दुर्बल हो गए कि इनसे सदन ही नहीं चल रहा है अब, रोज़ हमको ये करना पड़ रहा है क्योंकि एक बात पे चर्चा नहीं करना चाहते। क्यों नहीं कर सकते चर्चा? ऐसा यार पूरे देश भर में करा रहे हैं, पूरे देश भर का मुद्दा है, बात करिए। आपने सिंदूर पे चर्चा की, उस पर भी चर्चा करिए, देश को सुनने दीजिए। हमारा पक्ष भी है, उनका पक्ष भी है, तो इसमें घबराहट क्या है? ये तो इनकी दुर्बलता है कि सदन ही नहीं चला पा रहे।
Right. So Priyanka Gandhi made a statement on Rahul Gandhi and what sitting Judge Justice Dipankar Datta said. She went on to also talk about how a discussion on SIR is needed at this point of time. Opposition has been insisting on it, but the government is not running the house and it's not agreeing for a discussion, but that's a different subject altogether. But I want to come back to the statements made by Justice Dipankar Datta. And joining me this evening is a very special guest, former Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, Justice Govind Mathur joins us. Govind Mathur, sir, thank you so much for joining on such a big issue. And I really want your reaction, your first statements on what you feel about Justice Dipankar Datta's statement, which were made, and of course, a part of the oral observation he made yesterday.
This is very sad, painful, irresponsible, and a court should never make such type of statements. When you are saying that this is an oral statement, may that be oral, but when you are sitting in court, when you are adorning the seat of justice, these all are part of the proceedings. So when you are making any statement, it is not only of Mr. Dipankar Datta or Justice Dipankar Datta, it is the statement of the Supreme Court that has made this statement. You see, our judicial system, though it is quite strong, but from last several years, there are certain sections who are causing, where they are trying to weaken this our institution. And this time, the court has given one more opportunity to such people to say several things against the judicial system. I deprecate this kind of a statement made by any judge while holding judicial proceedings.
But when you say that it is an irresponsible statement, Justice Mathur, Can a sitting Supreme Court judge afford to look so irresponsible? I was really surprised when I heard that oral observation, and I was really wondering that was he not? I mean, was it a deliberate statement? Was it an intentionally made statement? Because you cannot expect a Supreme Court judge to behave so immaturely. And as you said, it was an irresponsible statement. But can he afford to be so irresponsible sitting in the apex court?
A judge of apex court should not be irresponsible, should not be immature, should act as an authority that is sitting there to impart justice, and he is required to weigh his every word before utterance. But sometimes, and some people, they utter certain words which causes injury to the system, and this time also certain words uttered by a judge, those have caused great injury. Uh, I'm really very sad by hearing these statements by a sitting judge while holding judicial proceedings.
Okay. So, so you said that this was a irresponsible statement made by Justice Dipankar Datta, and I was saying that to expect a Supreme Court judge to be irresponsible is also unthinkable. And then I went on to say that Justice Dipankar Datta is being trolled left, right, and center, and people are saying all sorts of things. Some are aligning him with the ruling dispensation. Some are saying that he has aspirations to be in politics, like a few other examples we have from the judiciary. Why do you think did he make a statement like this? And do you think that the statement was intentional? It was a deliberately made statement.
I can't say what was going on in his mind while making this statement. It is intentional or non-intentional, deliberate, or without thinking any consequences. How this statement was made, I can't say anything about that. But I can certainly say that while making such type of a statement, a Supreme Court judge, and not only Supreme Court judge, every judge should think 100 times before making such a statement, because the fundamental thing attached with a judge is that he should be impartial, and there must not be anything said, at least about priority, is about commitment of a person, a citizen of India with his nation by a judge in this manner. What I heard complete statement from your mouth, that is really very startling. I can't imagine that a judge can question about commitment and patriotism of a person and a citizen of India in this manner.
Justice Mathur, but now the thing is that who is going to tell Justice Dipankar Datta that these are kind of statements which the judges should refrain? Can Chief Justice of India call him, tell him this, or he will not say anything just because he's a brother judge?
You are telling him, number of people are telling him, social media is telling him, there are crores of people who are telling him that this is not the right way, these are not the right words to be uttered in a court. So
No,
far
but
as Chief
when
Justice of India is concerned or other judges are concerned, I don't know. They may say, may not say. Otherwise, all judges are stand on same pedestal. The
no,
Chief
but
Justice of India is an administrative head. He is not nobody to interfere in judicial working. But yes, as an elder brother, as a guide, he can certainly say, he can certainly advise to his judge.
many
And it
people
is
have
not only the Chief Justice of India, other senior judges, even any judge of Supreme Court is other persons, they can tell him.
No, but many people on the social media have been saying that Justice Dipankar Datta should step down, and he is not fit to be a judge of a Supreme Court if he makes statement like this about the leader of the opposition.
Who has brought this condition? Who is responsible for this? The judge himself. So before saying a single word, before uttering anything in while sitting in court, the judge must understand what will be the implication of his words. He is holding a very high office. The degrees of responsibility is required, it must be commensurating to the office itself.
But Justice Mathur, do you think that many people have also been saying, and especially Congress leaders have reacted, and many of them, not only Priyanka Gandhi, whose soundbite we showed, but they are saying, and many people on the social media also mentioned that BJP has always been seen Rahul Gandhi as a pappu. Though I find it very demeaning to use that word, but in a way, Justice Dipankar Datta is trying to trivialize the position of Rahul Gandhi as a leader of the opposition and speaking the language of the BJP, speaking the language of the RSS. In fact, many people have said that this is the language of the RSS which Justice Dipankar Datta has used for Rahul Gandhi.
Which I am not concerned with any individual, but here it is not only any. I am concerned with every citizen. Whatever is stated by the court through Justice Dipankar Datta in this matter, that is not at all permissible. The court can't say anything about dedication and commitment of any citizen about his patriotism. It is not within the domain of the court without having any material which is established otherwise. Now, so far as the leader of opposition is concerned, he holds a very high office, a statutory office, and he is under obligation to raise public issues in parliament, outside the parliament, and on every floor where he can convey his ideas about nation to the public. So it is really very strange that why the court has asked that why you have not raised this issue on the floor of parliament, why you are raising this issue through social media. This is not within the domain of the Supreme Court. It is for the person concerned where to raise this issue and in what degrees it should be raised. There is nothing wrong in it. The only issue before the court was whether it was right to proceed against Mr. Gandhi under the provisions relating to defamation.
Right.
This should have been decided on its merits. No other commentary was supposed to be made in court.
No, but this, since you said that this was a commentary, it was part of the oral observation. Do you think that the sitting judges these days, and there is a tendency in the judiciary to use their oral observations to please the political masters? There seems to be a tendency, like the example of the Kolkata High Court judge who joined and politics, and he contested for elections as well, and many oral observations he made, and likewise there are several instances. So do you think that there is a tendency now in the judiciary, I'm not saying all the judges do that, but there is a tendency among a vast number of judges to use their oral observations to please the political masters?
Indeed, I want to say that there are two type of observations. One, as you said, deliberate observations. Others, which are not deliberate but part of heat of the arguments. During the course of arguments, one lawyer is saying something, other lawyer is saying something, and court is also participating in these arguments. To arrive at a definite conclusion, such type of comments are part of these arguments. Court made these arguments, but those are not deliberate arguments. Those are bona fide observations made by the court looking to the set of facts and existing circumstances. But if anybody is making deliberate statement, then I am saying that he is working against the oath administered to him. I'm not saying that this time the statement made by the judge in Supreme Court, that is a deliberate statement. But if any judge anywhere in country, if he is making deliberate statement to please anyone, then that is not at all permissible. And yes, media should also criticize such type of observations. It is
No, but
open for you. It is not contempt.
right. No, you rightly pointed out that it is not contempt, and I'm glad that you pointed this out, because I have seen very, very senior people amongst the news platforms, where they say that, oh, he's a sitting judge, you should calibrate and measure your words. What if there is a contempt? What if they
You
come around
should
you?
not, you should not scandalize the court. You should not scandalize the judge. But if something apparently wrong is said, if something is said that is not within the domain of the court, if something is said that is not in consonance to your constitutional provisions, if something is said that is contrary to law, if something is said that is not at all expected from a judge, then yes, you can say.
Yes. Now, I want to go one by one on the points which Justice Dipankar Datta has raised. And the first question, of course, is that how do you get to know when 2,000 square kilometers was acquired by China? So the big question now is that, was Dipankar Datta ignorant about the fact that there have been various instances where Rahul Gandhi went to Ladakh? He pointed that out. There are satellite images to show how Indian villages have been captured by Chinese territory. Then there are statements and witnesses. The shepherds who live around the borders, they have pointed that out. BJP's own MP of Ladakh, Tapir Gao, he pointed out in the House. Now, are these not evidences enough? And without having a knowledge of this, if Justice Dipankar Datta makes a statement like this, that how do you get to know that these 2,000 square kilometers have been captured? Does it not feign ignorance on the part of Justice Dipankar Datta, sir?
Assume it, he is ignorant. Assume it. A judge may not knowing each and every fact what is happening. He is not supposed to know each and everything. And for a moment, assume it, he is knowing it. Even then, if that question is relevant to decide the issue, he may ask. But if that is not relevant to adjudicate the question before him, then he is not required to ask this thing. And in the present case, this observation made was not at all relevant. So I say that should have not asked this question.
Right. And then he goes on to say that had if you are a true Indian, you should not have had made this statement. And of course, Priyanka Gandhi has retorted back, saying that we don't need a certificate from a sitting judge. So should a judge be deciding who is Indian, who is not Indian? And is that not a way of calling Rahul Gandhi an anti-national, which BJP does, which RSS does,
If
which
if I will be having any opportunity to ask the judge concerned, what is the true definition of true Indian and where it is given? I will really would like to know what is the true definition of this is the definition of true Indian and where it is given. Merely somebody is asking, raising certain issues. You can't say he is not a true Indian. I can ask several things. I can ask what happened during this entire Doklama issue, what happened on the border, what happened during Sindoor operations. As a citizen of India, I have a right to ask several questions. And Mr. Gandhi, if he has asked these questions, he is well within his domain. It doesn't mean he is not a Indian. He is not a true Indian, or he is not a. You can't challenge his patriotism in this way while sitting in court. This is absolutely unwarranted statement.
also he asked that what is the credible evidence you have. Now, what does the credible evidence statement mean, and what is just
The Supreme Court was not trying the allegation of defamation. It was just dealing with another issue. What evidence is available, what evidence is not available. These are all things are absolutely irrelevant so far as the matter before the Supreme Court is concerned. I think in very beginning I used the word that sometime court acts beyond its jurisdiction. At least while asking these questions, court has not acted with adequate caution, with adequate responsibility. These are
had
absolutely unwarranted observations.
but Justice Dipankar also said that it's the constitution's Article 19(1)(a), which says that you can't make any statement, any statement you can't make. That's what he told Abhishek Manu Singhvi also.
Yes, yes, that is very right. The article 19(1)(a), that doesn't mean that you can speak anything, whatever you want. But at the same time, when you arrive at a conclusion that this was the statement that was that needs to be checked, first you are required to arrive at a question that arrive at a conclusion that this what he has said is such type of a statement. Without arriving at that conclusion, you can't say. And
Right.
at least I personally feel that whatever issue raised by Mr. Gandhi, that is not of such nature. I can very well ask, yes, what happened? People are saying that thousands of kilometers of land is in occupation of China. What is your stand? People are saying, you just mentioned that a member parliament from Ladakh, he is raising this question. Certain shepherds, they have raised this issue. So please give details. And in democracy, we can very well ask this.
Yes.
The-
But will Justice Dipankar's statements, the oral observations, will also be seen as a curb on the freedom of expression of the opposition leaders? I mean, your case and example is Rahul Gandhi, but the larger message, it seems, is that whichever opposition leader raises the issue of the people, he should authenticate, he should substantiate. Is that what he means by his statement?
Curtailment of this liberty comes only when a valid order is passed. This kind of statements made in open court, these oral observations, these are nothing but this is, you can say that these are causing injury to the system itself. These are having no consequences. These kind of statements can't curtail our rights given in the constitution. This shows sometimes over anxiety in the with the judge concerned about several things. And I'm of the firm view. You may have your own way of thinking. You may have your own philosophy. You may have your own political leaning. But while sitting in court, you are under obligation. You are supposed to. Uh, you are by oath. You are required to act in accordance with constitutional provisions. You are required to act in accordance with law. It is not open for you to say anything whatever you want. You are not a monarch. You are here, you are a judge in a constitutional democracy. You are abide by constitutional provisions.
But what is the biggest takeaway from these statements, Justice Mathur? Because you said that these kind of statements do an injury to the system, and they do bring disrepute also to the pillar of judiciary. Uh, and how will the judges refrain, or how can you ensure that this thing doesn't get repeated? Of course, we are raising questions. There are people talking on the social media, but is there a guarantee that the judges won't do it? Because when they see that pleasing the political masters is the easiest way for success and a climb up on the ladder, on the career ladder. So why will they refrain? They will repeat. And there are many instances like Justice Shekhar Yadav, the kind of statements he made. And we all have seen, though there is an impeachment motion which is being mulled over, but then nobody, like, he felt emboldened because he got a lot of support from the political system.
You see, in our scheme, our constitutional scheme, a judge is required to act with his zamir, his consciences. Now, while making appointments of judges, while working, we must understand that how responsibly we are supposed to discharge our duties. Nobody can say that you act in this manner, but yes, when you are asking about what is the check, I'm saying that you are the check. I am the check. When we are discussing all these issues, these are the checks. People are required to convey all these things from different modes. It may be media, it may be other modes that yes, Mr. Judge, these are not the fields where you are required to enter. This is not open for you. Be within the four corners given by the Constitution. Otherwise, people will lost faith in the judiciary. That will be the most dangerous thing. People have great faith in our judicial system. That is to be maintained.
Absolutely. So, towards the end of the interview, sir, what are your final comments on the kind of statements which Justice Dipankar Datta made on Rahul Gandhi? That what is the credible evidence? How do you know that 2,000 square kilometers have been captured by the Chinese army? If you had been an Indian, you would not have made a statement like this. Your final comments on these statements, oral observation made by Justice Dipankar Datta.
Absolutely unwarranted statement. I say a Supreme Court judge should be responsible, mature enough before making any statement while sitting in court.
No, but sir, when you say mature, Supreme Court judge
Yes,
is
every
already.
Supreme Court judge is mature. Every Supreme Court judge is mature. But sometimes some act out of 100.1 act may not be coming at the scale required for maturity. These are stray incidents, happens, and we must take care of this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Justice Mathur, for joining on HW. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar.